everybody back to F1 RL Tier 2. I believe this is now round 2 around Portugal. We love a bit of Portugal, and we're here today to have hopefully some amazing racing. Session has started. We have the likes of the one and only Connor Robb, Latifi as well, X-Zoink, Elite Shots, Dilb, Nova, Lizardos, Andy Moore, Shredded Meats, DWR Flames, Demizzy, and Neo Kyo. I've got a good feeling this is going to be a good, entertaining race. And hopefully tomorrow's Tier 1 race is going to be also just as entertaining. We have got the likes of F1 Andy Moore commentating for that Tier 1 race tomorrow, since Fraser is not available to commentate. But we'll get to find out and see if Andy Moore is as good of a commentator as he is at driving his car. Because Andy Moore is a sensational driver. Not quite sure why Lizardo's name doesn't appear on the spectator menu, but we'll find that out another day. But we will get some lovely cinematics around Portugal here today. See that Red Bull climbing up the hill to then go back down the hill. I'm not too sure about corner names here, but I'll try my best. You might get a lot of up the hill, down the hill in Sector 2. But this is anyone's championship in Tier 2. The field is so evenly bunched together, it could either go to anyone. And I think today, the Merc might be favourites to take home a victory here in Portugal. Two very fast drivers in the Mercedes, as one of them's about to start their lap now, coming across the finish line to now start the push lap. But we'll get to see how much these drivers are actually pushing these cars around Portugal. Up the hill down to the straight section under DRS in Sector 1, comes to the end of Sector 1. Believe this is Neo Kyo, if I am correct. That was at least. Now we're joining over onto a McLaren, getting very close to track limits there. I think that's the McLaren of Dilb. Getting very close to track limits, but staying within the track. Just enough so laps count. Back to the Mercedes driver. Very nicely taken around those corners. Let's get some names up in here then. So it's of course Elite Shots that is that car. Latifi goes pole. Connor Robb goes pole. But I've got a feeling Elite Shots is going to go pole, but isn't going to go pole. Will only take a third fastest. Maybe Elite Shots is a little bit off the pace compared to where I was originally predicting. Now we have Nova to the next across the line, beating Elite Shots lap by 8 tenths. Neo Kyo takes P3. That is going to be Andy Moore to cross the line. It's an invalidation. Andy just getting that little bit too ambitious when crossing some of these corners. As I'm going to quickly have to make sure of something is correct here, because I think we might have the wrong title of the stream. So let me just quickly double check. Yep, we do. So give me a second here. Portugal. I spelled Portugal wrong. It is what it is. It's gonna have to be the title. It was a quick change, but here we are. Who will we see next across the finish line? Then I believe it will be the Mizzy in the Haas. So let's see how the Mizzy's lap is going to be. I've got an early prediction here. I'm going to say 8th. It's not going to be pole, but where is it going to be? Let's find out. It's going to be 6th. Not a bad lap at all. DWR Flames goes pole. Interesting. Very interesting. These drivers are now starting to get some good times out on the board. Where is Andy Moore though? Invalidated again. Honestly, Andy, you might need to pit for new tyres here. Forget the first lap. Those soft tyres are going to be slow and slow indeed. I think he's going again. He's going again with only 20% battery. Andy, you're a madman. Most people would have pitted, but this man, I believe in the process. I trust in the process. As we'll get some nice on board with him. Now, then a little bit wide, close to invalidating again, but managed to keep it on track, luckily. Good braking into that left-hander there. A little bit, almost looks like he's scared to turn in at parts in that sector there, in the beginning of sector 2. However, this still looks like an impressive lap from Andy, considering the battery usage is extremely low. I think this could be a 119, maybe 118.9, or I could be wrong. But that is fantastic driving etiquette there from the Mizzy in that Haas. Waiting on the outside to let the car through. It's what we love to see. It's what we love to see in racing. And Andy Moore now to cross the line for a 119.8. Probably needed to pit. Probably needed some more battery in that car, to be honest. Dilb also on a lap here. If that battery isn't glitched, something's wrong, and he has invalidated. The Mizzy, 3 temps up. This could potentially be a pole a lap if he continues to improve at this rate. As my Twitch has just crashed, let me make sure. Yeah, we are still live. We're chilling. We're vibing. This is a fantastic lap from the Mizzy so far. 5 temps up. That'll currently put him at 17.3 going into the last sector. The Mizzy putting himself amongst that top 3. Trying to disrupt the current podium. Or trying to... Yeah, it is a podium really when you think about it. It's a podium of quali. Doesn't mean much, but the Mizzy to cross the line for P4. Just missing out on that top 3. Second row currently though. Not bad at all. Latifi invalid. Neo Kyo. What's Neo got? What's Neo Kyo got? That's the real question. I've got a feeling there's some pace in this Mercedes. And it hasn't fully been on show yet. So what will we see here from Neo Kyo? As I think that is Exoink that's about to cross the line. It is not Exoink that's crossing the line. Exoink might want to get off the racing line just in case anything bad happens. But back to Neo Kyo then. Only half a tenth up. Not a lot of an improvement right now. That wasn't the best first sector from the Mercedes driver. Slight improvement again, but it's not a lot through that sector 2. The Haas is waiting. Very nicely done again. Good driving etiquette from all of these drivers out on track. So we go back on board with Neokio. Will it be an improvement? It will be, but it's not enough to be a massive improvement to gain any positions at all. That is a shame. Latifi is invalid. Believe DWR Flames on outlap. I then believe Exoink is now on a lap. Whether it's a fast one or not, I'm not too sure. That battery looks to be off. So if the battery's off, I don't expect great things from this lap. In the toe of the Red Bull, I think the Aston Martin thinks he might be racing. Who is that Red Bull? That is the real question. It's the one and only Andy Moore. Very interesting there from both of the drivers. Elite shots, not a great first lap. Can he improve though? He's always on the podium, elite shots, but don't know if he has the pace around Portugal today to get anywhere closer to that victory. DWR Flames on board now with him. So you get some beautiful cinematics. But DWR Flames is into the pits. Maybe a mistake was made on that lap, as I've somehow managed to shortcut to medal. Don't know how I've done that. Let's see where everyone is then. The Alpine Nova invalids. No, not what we'd love to see at all. Dilb, what can Dilb set? That is a really slow lap. Dilb must have had a spin or something. I assume into the pits. Hasn't gone into the pits. Has stayed out. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's go on board with Andy Moore. No, actually, yeah. Let's go on board with Andy. Andy is 9 temps up right now. Andy's flying. But again, story of this qualifying has been Andy not being quite able to get the most out of that car. It's a shame for sure. Someone might have to give him better setups, because it could be setup related now. Because I've seen that the way Andy takes his lines and stuff, they're not bad. But then also, I'm just looking at his throttle input. Does his throttle get stuck at like 90%? Or is he doing that on purpose? See, I'm not too sure. Has Andy got an equipment problem? I would hope not. Last time I had one, I was in a wall. So I'm hoping he doesn't have one. Anyway, the Mizzy is on a lap and invalidates it within the first 3 corners. I expected a little bit better there from the Mizzy, I've got to be honest. But Dilb's now starting a lap. Looks like he was saving up battery to then go for another lap on old tyres now, because I think they've done about 3 laps roughly. So it will be very interesting to see how these tyres react. In fact, we will put on the tyre detail. So Dilbert is on 2-lap old soft tyres. So they're not going to have as much pace as the new ones, but it shouldn't be that much of a drop off. I think Dilb's hoping he can still continue on these tyres. and set a third lap. But it is a purple sector 2 from Dilb. It is a purple sector 2. This has been a very good lap. Purple sector 2 from Dilb. What will it be? This could be close. I'm thinking maybe a P front row, but ooh, it's the fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far. Fastest lap of the Grand Prix qualifying. Dilb takes the provisional pole. He's going to be extremely happy with that. I think he pushed that McLaren a lot in that lap. Now Demizzi is back on a lap as well. On the fresher compound of tyres. Dilb, of course, setting his 16.9 on 3 lap old softs. Everyone else on track has got brand new softs though. The Mizzi's one have only done the outlap, and it is a purple sector 1. Could it be a purple sector 2? I think the track is warming up. I think track evolution is coming into play now. Where the fact we could see some of these drivers here be setting deadly times. The Mizzi still 1.5 temps up. Can he make it 2 going down after sector 2? He hasn't, and he has slowed. Was the Mercedes potentially impeding? I'm not too sure. But with a bunch of these cars now going slow through the sector, it could be very dangerous for the likes of Andy Moore going through. But Andy's managed to make it through fine, luckily by the looks of it. Dilbs has retired. Whether that was a crash or he just went straight on because he felt like it, not too sure. Some of these camera angles around Portugal just aren't very good. Neo, purple sector 2. Okay, Neo's turned up and he is now cooking as well. TTLR Neo, the Aston Martin. Purple sector 2. Can he make it a purple sector 3 though and set that brand new pole time and take Dilb off his throne? What will it be? Very close to it. 17 flat. Will any drivers that are currently out on track beat that time though? Neo Keo is invalid. Elite shots. What can he do? He starts the lap. It's been a very slow start from Elite shots so far. I still have faith in the guy though. I still have faith. I believe that he has got the potential and he has got the ability to achieve great things today around Portugal. Andy Moore's a 10th up currently. Currently sat in P12. 1/10 up on his best time. But looks at all the other cars on track are running a lower suspension than the likes of Andy Moore. And Andy Moore isn't going to improve. He will take P12. Elite Shots has retired on the grass by looks of it. Oh no, that is Neo Keo on the grass. Not what you want to see, especially how qualifying has now finished. So Neo Keo might only be 8th fastest currently. Can Nova do anything to set Neo Keo out of that top 10? Not quite enough done. So I think Neo Keo has been saved by the bell almost. And wow, we have our lineup. Our lineup didn't really change too much on the final lap. So our lineup for the Portugal Grand Prix will start with DWR Flames in P1, Dilb in P2, Neo in P3, Demizzi in P4, XD Connor Rob in P6, Latifi in P7, Shredded Meats Latifi in P6, Shredded Meats in P7. Wait, did the order change or did I get my numbers confused? Not too sure. But we'll see the order in a second anyway. So far though, I am a little bit surprised of the pace around Portugal. DWR Flames in the AlphaTauri seems to be roughly about 2 tenths faster than everyone else on track. But look at some of these times. Between, what, only like 2 tenths between the front 4 or something? Crazy. Then even towards the back, towards the middle, it's only about 2, 3, 4 tenths that separate everyone. But yeah, here will be our starting lineup for the Portugal Grand Prix. DWR Flames P1, Dilb P2, Neo P3, Demizzi P4, Conor Robb P5, Latifi P6, Shredded P7, Neo Keo P8, Nova P9, Elite Shots rounds off P10. Believe it's then Lizard Toes in P11, Andy Moore in P12, and X Zoink in P13. The preferred tyre strategy for today will be starting on the mediums, potentially ending on the softs, depending how long those mediums can be lasted for. However, hards is also a very reasonable strategy around Portugal today. By the looks of it, the sky is clear, so I don't think there's any sign of rain coming in anytime soon as well, might I add. So we could see some very clean battles out on track today, especially with the grid only being a couple tenths away from each other. I wonder if there is a way we can check which strategies people are going for currently. Okay, so it looks to be a mixture of softs and mediums. See, I would have started on the mediums first. Get the slower tyre out of the way, end on the faster tyre. But it's lights out and away we go. Dilb's jumped the start, causing a big backup towards the back of the pack. And wow, look how far Dilb is away from everyone else. Dilb has been disqualified even. Not fully sure how there. But Dilb's been disqualified. Conor Robb is miles away from the rest of the pack here. And Lizard Toes is up into P8. Andy Moore up into P10. And by the looks of it, Andy Moore might try and make a move here on the teammate on the inside the Red Bull. We're moving on to another little battle up towards the front here. We have got the likes of Latifi on the back of the Demizzi. It could be a late move. It is a late move. That is a dive bomb and a half. Can Demizzi get the switch back? Not quite. Brilliant position held there from Latifi. As we are seeing a nice little battle here between Shredded Meats and the Mercedes. And Nova's now trying to get involved as well. This is an interesting battle here. This, I feel like, and both the Alpines are through on that Mercedes. That Mercedes is into the pits. It is Neo Keo. Is there damage to the car? Is there a front wing change happening? By the looks of it, there is a front wing change happening. It will be a front wing change. No matter the less, anyway. There are cars flying off the track left and right in this battle for P6. I knew it would be close on track, but I didn't think it would be this close. The back 6 or 7 drivers have all fitted in nicely into a train here. And we have just seen Conor Robb spin Zoink. That will have to be looked at by the stewards. Of course, Zoink sending any clips, or that goes for all drivers, sending any clips that you could think could be punishable, and they will be punished or looked into. You're calling into AI, Dilb said. I don't know what to say, to be honest. I'd say maybe clip it, but I don't know. I'm very sorry to hear about that, Dilb, if I'm being honest with you. But yeah, here is the possible race strategies then. Softs to mediums. Looks very possible for a one-stop. I would have started on the mediums, ended on the soft, to be honest. But these drivers do what they want, and we are seeing a nice little freeway battle here on the straight between the likes of Shredded Meats, Nova, and Lizard Toes. But it looks like Shredded Meats has held the position brilliantly there, as Lizard Toes has gone flying off the track towards the back. And it's allowed Andy Moore to catch up just that little bit more. Andy really needs to stay with these train of cars just up ahead. Because if you lose the DRS around Portugal, it's hard to get back into the race. So Andy really does need to stay within this 1 second gap of Lizardos. Maybe burn a bit of that overtake. And then hopefully stay within a chance of potentially winning this race or even getting a podium. It might seem out of reach at the moment, but a couple penalties and a safety car, and the rest of it is all bunched up. What a move there from Demizzi on the straight. Nicely placed the car. Going into, and he's been hit by Latifi. Oh, that is a shame. That is a shame. And Shredder Meats has now got a time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. And I think the Mercedes might have made contact with the back of that Williams as well. Hopefully there is no damage to both cars. Hate to see damage to other cars in little scrappy battles. And it also looks like a scrappy battle between the likes of Nova, Shredded, and Lizardos. Can you get an invite back? Is that Neo Keo that needs one back? Because I'm not too sure. Oh, it's Connor Robb that needs an invite back. Yeah, I can send you one. There you go. I didn't even realise you're in AI, to be honest. That's on my behalf, that's my bad. Sorry about that, you are very far behind, because I didn't change the AI difficulty. Completely forgot to do that, my bad. So AI will be on, I think, 5% here, instead of the usual 20 I put it on for tier 2. I know tier 1 is on 0%. But I like to help the people that disconnect a little bit extra. But there isn't that many cars that are close on track. Apart from the likes of Lizardos, Nova, Andy Moore and Shredded. In fact, I'm wrong. Elite Shots has now got the move done on Latifi by the looks of it. Latifi is still fighting it though. But has got the move done. Let's bring up some telemetry options, shall we? Bang. We won't get lap data because we don't really need that, to be honest. But here are position changes while we're here. Elite Shot up 7 positions. Wow. I knew there would be something in this Mercedes car, but I didn't think there would be that in it. After a terrible qualifying, Elite Shots is climbing the grid as if it's nothing. And he has started on the mediums as well. Getting past all these soft runners on the mediums this early in is a very big help. I think you might have been listening to the stream when I said the optimal tyre strategy. Or when I mentioned it at least. He just needs to stay with Latifi. He doesn't need to really fight Latifi. Fighting will slow them both down. And let the likes of Shredded catch up, to be honest. With the next closest train as well being nowhere near them, I think it's best for Elite Shots just to stay behind Latifi for now, or vice versa, one of them stay behind the other. They don't really need to fight it that much. I can see the reasoning for Latifi fighting it, because Latifi is on those softer compound tyres, so they should be faster in theory. But are those softs now starting to degrade and slowly fall off a cliff when it comes in terms of grip? I'm not too sure yet. Both tyres on both the cars look very similar in wear. It's a shame we can't check the wear of the tyres, but both cars are very similar in terms of wear anyway. But we have got DWR Flames still leading this race on the soft compound tyres. So we'll have to make a pit stop at some point for either mediums or hards. Won't be able to make a pit stop onto soft tyres. And we are seeing the likes of Connor Robb slowly eat away the time to Exoink. Now being back in the session, is climbing slowly, but it's a long distance to climb back from. I think it's around 30, maybe 40 seconds to the race leader. But Exoink has somehow crashed. The man who needed a safety car could now be back in this race. Connor Robb potentially back in this race now. Not fully sure what happened there with the Aston Martin Exoink, but Exoink has crashed out. Maybe it was just a little bit of a loss of car. But this is going to help all of the soft runners out massively. Not so much on the medium runners. But we will see most, if not all of the people pit here for new tyres. Not too sure what happened to that Aston Martin. Could have just been a loss of traction and then put it in the wall. But we will see a tyre change for a lot of these drivers. On go the hards for DWR Flames. On go the mediums for Neo. Very risky. On go the hards as well for Latifi. Hards for Latifi is, as we have heard a little bit from Exoink, and it was just no grip. Race ruined after being punted. It sucks when that happens, to be honest. It really does. I mean, if you have a clip of it, just submit it to the racing stewards, and they will look into it. And potential penalties will be given out where they need to be given out at. This camera angle's fantastic. Overlooking the hotel. Personally, I love it. Let's stay in this camera angle for a second. And now we're going to have to change it, sadly, because no one else is here. Oh, this is a nice one as well. I like this one. Neo podium incoming. I mean, there well and truly could be a Neo podium incoming here. I think Connor Robb might actually have a chance now as well. Of course, it is extremely far back, but now on those new tyres, if Connor Robb has some pace, there could well and truly be a nice finish on the table here. Of course, with there only being 11 drivers in this race that are left, it's pretty much guaranteed points if you finish the race. Only one person will not get the points so far. So it'll be interesting to see how and where things happen, who gets what positions, who overtakes who. What we do know though is Elite Shots is up 6 positions, Lizard Toes is up 5, Andy Moore is up 4. And the likes of DWR Flames, who led the first lap and has now led another 9 since. But we have had 2 unfortunate loss of cars. And the first safety car of the race coming out should be in this lap, I believe. As I get a little bit of a tired yawn out. There we have had the likes of Dilb potentially get disqualified from a game glitch. Not fully sure. Car went AI at the start. Jumped the start and then disqualified himself. And then we have got Sonic with a Z, as I've been told to say. Or Zonic. Down in P12 with an unfortunate crash out, no grip in the just coming into the end of sector 1. Believe it's turn 4 if I'm correct. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is turn 4. Into the wall at turn 4. Not what you want to see, but at the end of the day, safety car is in this lap, like I predicted. As I've came very yawny all of a sudden. A little bit tired. We won't get that in the way. Won't let that stop anything. Believe they have gone very early there from the likes of DWR Flames, wanting to catch everyone out behind him. But I don't think it's worked. Or have they gone? I don't think they have. Now they have for sure. They've definitely gone now. That caught me out, so whether it had caught everyone else out, I'm not too sure. If I was in the race, I might have been the only one that was caught out by that, if I'm being honest. There's some changing towards the back here. Oh, and there's more changing. There's an Aston Martin that's fully around this Neo. The podium prediction, someone said. The commentator's curses came into play. Latifi and Neo both around P10 and 11 now. The Mizzy looks to be dropping positions as well. The Mizzy's drop positions. A crash out for Latifi. Not what you want to see at all. The Mizzy though climbing back as if nothing ever happens. On the soft tyres. Very interesting strategy from the likes of the Mizzy there. But Shredded meets up into P3 though. Take a bow, Shredded. Now looking to make a move on the former race leader DWR Flames, and I think Lizard Toes has followed behind very nicely. Lizard Toes up into P3. Elite Shots now leading the race. Shredded meets behind. Wow. Since when did Shredded actually get good? Only joking, we all love Shredded. Consistency has always been there. The pace, not so much here and there. But Shredded are now in P2. Of course, that 3-second time penalty for track limits, potentially that might get removed. I'm not too sure on what the offences were. Elite Shots now picks up a 3-second time penalty. This is anyone's race in the front 4-5 positions. As it looks to be this front 4, front 5 has gotten away from the rest of the pack. Andy Moore just trailing behind them. Can see them within the distance, but they're not quite close enough for the DRS. Andy wants to get DRS this lap, or else he might not be within a chance of getting near a podium finish. Andy using a little bit of ERS there on that straight. Don't think there's enough top speed in that car though. Not fully sure where he got the setup from, but it looks to be not the best. However, Shredded meets down in P2. Elite Shots now leading. Lizard Toes with no battery. DWR Flames with 44%. I know DWR Flames is going long, but wow. Don't know if it will be long enough, to be honest. I think there might still be an extra pit stop in this race though, for the likes of Shredded meets Elite Shots and potentially Lizard Toes. everyone on those medium compound tyres, I think, needs to potentially make another pit stop. Lizato's defending very nicely there on their Alpha Tauri. But now out of battery. Just out of DRS range as well. I think we might see Nova potentially make a move on Lizato's as well going down there. We won't. Just a little bit too far behind. And now Lizato's picks up a 3-second time penalty. 5 track limit warnings so far. Who's going to be the 6th? Who's going to be the 7th? We'll find out shortly. As we see Lizato's make a very nice move there on the Alpha Tauri, but can't make it stick. A loss of traction at the end of the move. Got on the power a bit too early. And we have some battling towards the back here as well. The Mizzy on Neo. Neo, of course, starting strong position-wise. And ending, well, in a quite depressive matter. Sat in P2, living life. No contest whatsoever. Safety car comes out. And now look at him. Under pressure by the Mizzy. Down in P8. Not where you want to be if you are Neo. However, P6 for Andy Moore. That's a good result so far. Can Andy build on this though? That is another question. On the soft tyre compounds, might I just add. So started on, I believe, the medium tyres and now is on the softs. And now Nova's picked up another 3-second time penalty for track limit warnings. I think that is a 6-second penalty now. I'd also like to say, if it sounds like I'm talking with a lisp, it's because I burnt my tongue earlier on, and it still is painful as hell. But we have some alright racing going on at the moment. Let's go back towards the middle of the pack here with the likes of... Ooh, did I just see an Alfa Romeo make a move? I thought I did, but I don't think I did. Connor Robb's a minute behind. I think Connor Robb might have disconnected one more time, which is a shame, but being a minute behind, don't know if he'll want an invite back or not. Not too sure. But we have Elite Shots now leading this race. 9 positions gained from a poor qualifying. And the likes of Lizato's and Nova right now battling it out a lot here. Around these corners. Nova, of course, with a 6-second time penalty minimum. They're battling hard. But we do see Andy Moore closing the gap now between himself and the likes of Nova and Lizato's, as the two front runners in Elite Shots. And now DWR Flames has managed to get past Shredded somehow. Not too sure when that happens. Must have not caught that. Must have been daydreaming. But the two Alpines are having a brilliant race so far. As that Red Bull looks to make an early move down the inside. Can he make it stick though? Not too sure if the Red Bull driver has managed to make it stick there. Doesn't look like it. It looks like Nova holds the position very nicely. But we now do see DWR Flames on the hard tyre compound trying to make a move now on these medium tyres. I think he's going to get it done. I think he will get the move done here. And I think those medium tyres might not have been the tyre you wanted to move on to after that safety car. They can last up to 18 laps, the medium tyres, but with it already being about 10, 11, I think those mediums are calling for help. I think the hard tyres were probably the best choice of tyre to go onto. Because I think now, Elite Shots is just losing a lot of time due to grip. But these two will be fighting it out around these corners anyway. Elite Shots with a huge ERS disadvantage. I think it's going to have to be a box. I think we might have to see Elite Shots box at some point soon. Pit window is open for Elite Shots. Now that is interesting. Could there be a pit stop inbound for Elite Shots soon? Not too sure. But Elite Shots has now lost 6 tenths in a corner. And he has boxed 4. I'm not too sure what it will be. I don't know if softs will last that long. It might be another set of mediums. If another set of mediums is available to the driver. It's going to be hards. Doesn't want to chance the mediums yet again. Will Demizzi chance the mediums? Does he have another set of mediums? The mediums are going on. Whether they're old or new, that is a different question. Demizzi is quite far away from any seam of any sort of position, any sort of battle. But I think that was the right choice of tyre compound to go on to. Of course, the one stopper is the most viable strategy here. But with that early safety car, I think it might have put the hopes and dreams of that one stop to bed. Not too sure if there will be another one stop strategy in this race, or if anyone is still on a one stop strategy. But if DWR Flames is on a one-stop strategy, I think we might see a race winner already here, already stuck spectating. There's a little battle happening just up here. So a nice 4-5 car way battle. This is what we want to see in F1RL. Neo in amongst all of it. Hopefully no contact is made anywhere around here. Late dives from multiple drivers. The Mercedes pushes the Red Bull wide. Red Bull keeps the position. 3-second time penalty though for track limit warning. After getting pushed wide, that will be removed by the stewards if reported to them. But Neo is trying to get back in this race. Down the inside he goes on the Mercedes. Neo passes Neo Keo. But Neo Keo is now fighting it back around the outside. But it looks like Neo has prevailed against Neo Keo. So many Neos, man. It's like the Matrix. Nova into the pits now. What tyre compound will that be? I'm not too sure. But now Neo trying to make the move on Lizard Toes. Gets forced wide a little bit. Not sure if the gap was even there to try and make the move in the beginning. And there's contact. Neo, Keo, and Neo. Same place as where Neo was originally caught, I believe. That is unfortunate from the Aston Martin driver. A little bit of karma, they might say. But that is very unfortunate there. Nova down. P9. Just behind Demizzi here. And that was only a lap or two prior pit stop. I think Demizzi might actually be on for a good finish now. I think that early pit stop changing onto those medium tyre compounds have actually helped out Demizzi. Considering Nova was roughly I want to say P3, P4 before making that pit stop. Of course, any incidents will be looked at by the stewards if reported. So make sure to report any potential infringements, any incidents. And Neo has retired from the session. Not happy with the race result. Doesn't want to proceed no further. It was guaranteed points, but he said, nope, I don't want them. Which, fair enough, but it doesn't quite make sense if you are an Aston Martin team principal right now. You are raging hard. The fact your drivers can't seem to score any points everywhere they go. But Neo Keo up into P4. Andy Moore up into P3. On soft tyres that must be screaming. They must have no grip. That must be like driving on ice. I think those tyres have lasted 10, maybe more so laps. I think the average life of those soft tyres is only about 15, 16. So I think those tyres might be very dead. 13 lap old soft tyres. Andy is the tyre whisperer. And he is going into the pits. Brilliant pit stop. Make sure to not get any 5-second time penalty. Andy Moore will drop a couple positions. How many will it be though? Mediums to the ends. 10 lap on the mediums. Very much possible. I think Andy might come out about P7. Wants to be ahead of Lizard Toes. But it's going to be close. Andy versus Lizard Toes to the corner. Lizard Toes has beat Andy to that corner. Out of the pit stop. And we will have a nice little battle here between Demizzi, Nova and Shredded Meats. As I'm just going to be quiet and let this battle kind of play out. Because it will be a lot of position swapping. So currently we have just seen Shredded get overtaken from Demizzi. And now we will see also Nova go for the move on Shredded. Sorry about that one, everybody. I had to quickly help someone with something. But Demizzi is leading these two Alpines. Very nicely done. Neo Keo on the 15 lap old medium tyres. Could they last to the end? I don't think I've seen someone do 25 laps on mediums before, but it could well and truly be possible. But all the time Neo Keo stays out, Neo is losing time to the rest of the pack. Just looking at the delta time, doesn't seem to be gaining, seems to maybe be losing more than what it could be worth staying out on those old medium tyre compounds. But look at the gap DWR Flames has. 16.9 seconds, 17.1, 17.2, 17.3 second gap. Wow. DWR Flames could go to the ends. It really could. I mean, if he fancied it as well, he could potentially. It would risk the race, but it would make some good racing. If DWR Flames would want to, could potentially pit now for soft tyres and still be only 2 or 3 seconds away from that front row seat. And on those new soft tyres, you're going to get the fastest lap. You're going to be able to overtake, and you probably would still win. But I think DWR Flames will just play it safe, stay out, and just kind of vibe it. Just vibe his way through the field. Already 17.5 seconds clear from everyone else. The likes of Elite Shots is catching Neo Keo slowly but surely. It's going to be close between those two very soon. The Mizzy now getting overtaken here by Shredded, but he might be able to just hold it around the outside. Looks to have held it. Shredded will look for the inside again, but won't take it. That's brilliant defending there from the Mizzy. I think Neo Keo is just kind of hoping and praying on that 3-second time penalty that Elite Shots has to hold on to that P2 finish. If the tyres can get there, that is. Of course. I don't think I've ever seen medium tyres go 25 laps around Portugal. But there's always a first, and there's always someone that manages to create a new strategy. The setup might be optimised just for tyre saving. We don't know. That's the good thing about racing. Shredded now getting overtaken by Nova just in the background there. Let's go back on focus now to the Alpines, because they are the closest on track. But Nova has now dropped down to P6, getting overtaken by Shredded Meats. Was it team orders? I'm not too sure. I think these two Alpines just fighting it out. Made the best car win. I love that mentality from the Alpines. But Neo Keo now on 18 lap old medium tyre compounds. I don't know. I don't know if they'll live. I really don't know if they'll live. But it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see for sure if those mediums will last till the end. And Nova and Shredded are now getting very close, wheel to wheel, battling almost. Contact wasn't made, luckily, and both drivers are still driving. This is a fun battle to watch. These two Alpines have been so evenly paced this whole race. Even in qualifying, they're very evenly paced. I knew it would be close towards the back, but I didn't think it would be this close. Andy Moore still within 5 seconds of P4. Maybe not P4, but P5. Actually, probably P4. I'm not too sure. Andy not very far away at all. If some of these penalties could come into play right into Andy Moore's hands. He is the card master at the moment. He is holding all the cards. And he's probably also holding his steering wheel very tightly, trying to get as much pace out of his rig as possible, trying to get as much pace out of his car as possible to catch up to the likes of Nova and Shredded in the Alpines. As we all hear the light hum of the engines. DRS enabled, ERS fully deployed to catch up to Demizzi. There's nothing left, but it will be a move down the inside, look to the inside, and it will be saved by the looks of it. As not quite sure what happened there, but something did. And it's going to be another move down the inside here. Oh, and there's contact. Demizzi and Nova. Contact's been made. Demizzi's dropping positions. Nova's dropped even more. It's just up to Shredded Beats now to potentially catch up to the likes of Elite Shots, stay within that 3-second time penalty. Although, let's check how long penalties are, because I've got a feeling some of these drivers might have a double track limit warning. But let's find out very shortly. Here we are then. So we have got the likes of Lizard Toes picking up a 17-second penalty somehow. Nova picking up a 12-second penalty. Demizzi with a 6. Shredded with a 3, Elite Shots with a 3. Demizzi now climbing though, overtaking the likes of Lizard Toes. But right now, as it looks, Andy Moore is looking at a P5 finish. And he could potentially be on for a P4 finish if he can catch up to Lizard Toes and potentially overtake Lizard Toes. I think the gap is around 4 seconds, which is the gap that Andy needs to get in a 4 laps. If he can get that, you could be on for a podium. Come on, Andy. I believe in you, lads. Use some battery, hit some apexes, and you'll be on for a good finish. TikTok Verstappen. You need to unleash that inner Verstappen in you. Hunt down the rest of the pack. If you're a Hamilton fan, I would say it's hammer time. Neokio into the pits then. Doesn't trust the tyres. Doesn't think they'll last. And look at the positions dropped. Puncture from the Mercedes driver. I thought there would be. I thought it was close to it. I did. I was going to say, I've never seen someone go 25 laps on medium tyres. To even go 20, I was like, that's a push. I know they can go about 18, but 20, that's a push. He managed to go 22 or 23. But that puncture has seen a lot of positions dropped. That is for sure. Of course, the likes of Lizard Toes' 17-second penalty means Neokio will be up into P6 no matter what. So right now, P7 isn't true. It's a P6 currently. But I think that could be the most gained out of this race here. I think Neokio needs to get a fastest lap ASAP. But if you're enjoying Tier 2, you'll definitely enjoy Tier 1, which is going to be streamed tomorrow, 7 PM, on, I believe, Andy Moore's Twitch account. I could be wrong saying that, but I'm not 100% sure. But if I am correct in thinking that, we'll see Andy Moore commentating on the Tier 1 race tomorrow. So although in P6 currently, we'll get to see how Andy Moore is as a commentator. Probably better than me, let's be realistic. But who knows? What I do know though is DWR Flames 22.7 seconds lead right now to Shredded Meats. He's trying to come for my record, which I beat last week, I believe, around Australia. And he's on track to do it at the moment. Shredded needs to find some pace in that car. For me. Not for himself, for me. So does the likes of Elite Shots potentially as well. Less battling, more pace, more catching up needs to happen. That is for sure. But currently DWR Flames with a 22.5 second lead. Of course, with that 3-second penalty from Shredder Meats, that will be a 25.5 second lead. I believe the record is a 29 second lead as a race finish. So DWR Flames is close to it, but I don't think he will get it, because by the looks of it, Elite Shots is now starting to pick up that pace a little bit more than what Shredded Meats was. But this is a close battle here. It's anyone's to take. A podium finish is on the table for any of these drivers right here, but I think the only ones that will get it are Elite Shots and Shredded. But I think Demizzi wants to potentially do it on track, so it's going to be close between these three. Or should I say these four. Because Andy Moore's not too far away as well. And a 6-second time penalty could well and truly see Andy Moore up into P3 potentially. If Andy puts on the gas a little bit more, starts cooking that a little bit extra, could see something big happening here. Of course, any incidents that will happen could also play into Andy's hands. He holds the cards at the moment. That is for sure. F1 Andy Moore, 3.2 away from P4. It's going to be close. And he just needs to stay within 2.7 seconds of P4. And he could well and truly see a win. And there's contact. And a reset to track from the Mercedes driver. DWR Flames has crossed the line to win the Portugal Grand Prix with a crazy lead at the end of it. Congratulations to DWR Flames. You are a race winner. It looks like Shredded Meats will take P2. Lizard Toes will take P3 on track. Andy Moore will go P3. Elite Shots will take P4. Demizzi P5 on track. Drops to P6. Neo Keo P5. Lizard Toes down in P7. Nova will cross the line in P8. Wow. Chaos at the end. A little bit of contact. Played perfect into that Red Bull's hand there. I thought it would. And you know what? I'm going to actually agree with the game here. Driver of the day will be Andy Moore, in my opinion. Starting off at the back, ending on a podium. Congratulations, Mr. Moore. Take a bow. As we'll get to see the iconic podium celebrations. And this will be our race finish order. Of course, this is provisional, but it looks like it will stand for at least the top 3. So we will have DWR Flames taking the victory with a 27-second lead. Congratulations, DWR Flames. Well played. You deserved that win today. Shredded Meats takes P2 from a start of P7. Unbelievable stuff as well. Andy Moore starts P12. Finishes P3 on a 2-stop strategy. Congratulations to Andy Moore coming in P3rd. Elite Shots will be P4. Neo Keo P5. Of course, though, there was a reset to track from Elite Shots. I'm not quite sure what the penalty will be for that if someone reports it. Neo Keo P5. Demizzy P6. Liztos P7. Nova P8. Connor Rob P9. Neo P10, of course, didn't finish the race, and neither did the rest of them. So, like Zonic, I don't even remember who else. But yeah, that'll be it for Tier 2 Portugal. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Join us. Make sure you're followed up with all of the socials and all that to get notified when Tier 1 races tomorrow. Bye bye.